Hi, I'm Lynn Bridgeford from the HIIT Clinic and HIIT Yoga, and today in our quick and easy series of shred we're going to be looking at shred for the tummy. Join me in a minute. The movement of the abs is a contraction upper and lower. We're going to start just with the lower, so contracting. We're going to press the hands against the legs. So we're giving that little bit of strength training to work with, contracting lower belly, pressing against the legs, knees slightly bent. Get that work going, and then we're going to go faster just in the lower belly, getting that speed up. You can feel the contraction working. There's a little bit in the upper belly, but it's mostly going in the lower belly. It's like a pelvic crunch. And that's our high intensity, and slowing down for the low intensity. Getting that interval to tease the heart rate, get the fat burning. And we're going faster again. We're lengthening in the front of the groin as we do that. Working in the lower belly, keeping the knees over the toes. Getting that body in a little bit of a running mode so that it snatches the mitochondria from the dead cells and boosts up the energy, and then slow down again. Shred is a mixture of HIIT and strength, and slowing the heart rate down. And then we're going back to the strength, so pressing on the legs, curling round, curl the tailbone round, so we're contracting the lower abs. So to contract the upper abs, we're going to keep the legs bent, take the hands behind you and press them against the back, so we're giving a little bit of resistance for working the strength in the upper abs. We will do some laying down in a while that will possibly use weights. So get that strength, get connected with the strength in those muscles, the upper abdominals, doing an upper body crunch with resistance of the hands against the legs. And then we're going to do that at speed, so the high intensity, contracting that muscle. There will be a little bit of contraction in the lower abs, but we're looking mostly for the upper abs and keeping tension away from the shoulders. Get that speed, and then check your form. Slow it down, get that lower intensity. Working the upper abs, and then we're going faster again. Feel them working evenly. If you notice that it's out of balance, just slow down a little and see if you can get both sides working the same. So if you're unbalanced, then you're going to do an unbalanced workout, so we rather go a little slower and get the control. And when we do the low intensity, you can check that you've got the balance both sides. And bringing the hands behind you for the strength work, we're going to press against the back and contract, and using the strength of the arms. You can do it with your own body weight. Feel that contraction. Getting these tummy muscles working well is really good support for your back. So the transverse abs go over to one side, so we're going to bring both hands onto one leg, bend the knees a little, and we're going to press the hands against the leg. So we're working mostly the lower transverse abs, pushing the hand against the leg to get that extra work in the muscle. And then we're going fast. So we're getting work all the way through the transverse abs when we're doing this part. We don't have to move far. Keep the motion going, keep the feeling of the contraction, and slowing down. We have a little bit of a lift in the pelvis to get that lower part combining with the upper part. And going faster again, put a little bit more emphasis on the lower part, a little bit of a bend of the knees to bring that in more. It almost becomes a little bit lilty, a little bit dancey. Keep them focus in the muscle, and then slowing down. Get that low intensity. The other side, we're going to press into the leg and we're going to do the resisted movement, so we're pressing against the leg, so we've got some action to work against that muscle for the strength. It's going to be more in the lower, but we can work the upper as well. Get that strength training in your transverse abs. And then we're going in speed, so we're bringing the upper body down, twisting around the lower body, bringing the work. There's a slight tilt in the pelvis to get that lower part of the transverse abs. Getting it up to a speed that works for you. Get your heart rate up and slowing down. Recover the heart rate. And we're going again. This time bring more movement of the pelvis in to get a stronger movement in the muscle. If that feels comfortable for you, just stay where it works for you. Feel the contraction with your hand. And slowing down. And going into the strength again to finish off. It's like a strength HIIT sandwich. Working that abdominals on one side, transverse abdominals. On the other side, doing the strength to finish. Coming down on the floor, we're going to use the hands pressing into the legs to do a resistance of a curl of the lower abs. So we're pressing the hands into the legs to give a bit of resistance, to feel that working evenly, a little bit of a strength, working through both sides of the abs, pressing the hands. This is not a big movement, it's a very focused movement. And then going at speed, we're working the lower abs, lifting the tailbone. We're not lifting too high, we're doing like a curled crunch, bringing the tailbone up to contract in the abs and then slowing down. You could even do it without lifting the back up much. Feel the movement, get that lower intensity, and then we're going again. So get that lower crunch in the abdominals, getting the speed, getting your heart rate up, get yourself a little breathless, keep that intensity going, keep the good form, and then we're going to slow down and feel that movement, get the lower intensity and recover your heart rate. We're going to do the same movement for the strength of the upper, so we're going to crunch up and we're going to press. So pressing the legs into the hands and resisting a little, keeping the feet on the floor. You can feel the movement of the upper abdominals. Keep the neck in a good alignment. And then going at a fast pace, we're going to crunch up. You can bring the arms up if you like, or you can leave them down. Getting an even movement. Keeping the neck in neutral. You could also bring the hands behind the head if that's comfortable. Working in the upper abdominals. And then slowing down. So whatever works for you, hands behind the head or arms beside you or reaching forwards. And we're going again. That speed, keep a good form, working the upper abs with a good crunch, and then slowing down. Check your form, feel the work. You may even feel a little burn in the upper abs. Coming back to the strength in the lower abs, pressing the hand into the legs, doing a focused lengthening and contract. Lifting the tailbone, you can lift the butt up if you want more work in it. Pressing the hands into the legs to give that resistance, and then the same coming up, using the upper abdominals with some gentle strength work. Using a similar movement on a twist for the transverse abs, we're going to bring the leg up, or you can leave it down, and we're going to press into that leg and press the leg into the hands to get a little bit of strength resistance with that. You can do it with the leg down, you just need to hold the hands lower down. And working with opposite arm and leg to get the transverse abs. I find it more comfortable to hold behind the head. Bring the leg up, bring the elbow up. Keep your core working as well as your abs. And then slow down. Feel the movement. Regain your heart rate. Regain the breath. And again. Going for the high intensity. Whether you bring your leg up or not, just get moving towards that angle of working with those transverse abs. And slowing down. Check your form. Regain your heart rate. And on the other side, doing the strength work first, pressing the hands into the leg, whether it's up or down, and get that action in the transverse abs, gentle strengthening, using your body resistance. Then taking opposite elbow to knee, working at a pace. Keep your neck comfortable, the neck should be relaxed and the hand should help the knee relax. Taking that high intensity, working the transverse abs. And slowing down, get the lower intensity interval. And going faster again. And slowing down. Going back to the strength, this time keeping the leg down. Just feel the action in the transverse abs by pushing the hand into the leg. Gentle strength conditioning, using your body weight. So keeping the leg down, hand a little higher up. Let's go back into that strength resistance. It's almost like an isometric. But we're moving, and in isometric you don't really move. So you can feel that action happening with the transverse abdominals. Coming on all fours, we're going to push the knee into the hand to activate those abdominals, the lower abdominals. You can use a belt if you like. Just a little bit of resistance work to feel that working. And then we're going to curl around, so bring the knee up towards the chest, working those abdominals, let the head come down a little, and working at speed. We don't completely straighten up in between. Bringing the knee up, straight up towards the chest, going at a good pace. Keep that heart rate coming up. Keep working the abs on one side, and then slowing down, contracting. Get your heart rate back, get your form, and then we're going again, curling around on the one side. And slowing down. And the other side, bring the knee up towards the chest. A little bit of resistance strength work. If your balance doesn't cope with this, you can put something in front of you to work against, or use a belt. Then we're going to tuck the knee in towards the chest. Doing a little curl around to get the abs working. Straight up, knee up towards the chest. Get a good pace going. Never completely straighten the back or the leg. We're working, focusing on the abdominals, the straight abdominals, and then slowing down. Get the movement. And going faster again, using that control. Feels a bit odd doing one side like this, but it's very effective. And we were doing a little bit of work on the other side as well to keep stability. And then slowing down. To get more into the transverse, we're going towards the opposite shoulder. So resist with a hand. Activating more of the transverse abs, get that feeling of the strength, and then we're going to come into the opposite shoulder, giving a little curl in the spine, tucking the tailbone under, bringing the knee up to the opposite chest, making sure we're controlling with the core as well as with the abs to protect the back, and slowing down. Get that slower interval and going once more. Knee up towards the opposite chest, the opposite shoulder. It's not going to go there, we're just going in that direction to get the angle on the muscle. And slowing down. And the other side, pushing the knee up towards the opposite shoulder, resisting with the other hand, or a belt or something you can push against. Little curl in the back. Feel those abdominals, the transverse abdominals working. Bringing the knee up towards the opposite shoulder with a little curl in the back, so we've got the tailbone tucked a little bit under, knee coming up towards the opposite shoulder to get that work in the transverse abs. Keep a pace, slow down if this is too much for you. And then we're slowing down. Get the lower intensity interval, check your form, feel what's happening, get your heart rate to slow down, and then we're going again at pace for 20 seconds, roughly 20 seconds high intensity, 10 seconds low intensity, and then interspersed with some strength training for the shred. So slowing down, curling round in the spine, knee up towards the opposite shoulder, catch your breath, slow your heart rate. We can do some of those movements, strength movements standing, hold on to something if you need to, resist with your hand. And the other side, pushing straight up, resisting with a hand, getting those abdominals to work. And with the transverse abdominals, pushing across up towards the other shoulder, resisting with the hand, getting the transverse abs to work. And on the other side, cross the leg over so the knee goes up towards the opposite shoulder, resist with the opposite hand, working the transverse abs. Taking a deep lunge, reaching back with a straight leg to stretch through the top of the legs, linking to the abdominals, lengthening the tailbone, lift the chest, keep the back long. We want to lengthen through the abdomen. And on the other side, lengthening in the tailbone, lifting in the core, lengthening in the front of the leg, and lift the chest so we're stretching the front of the abdominals. Coming down on all fours and coming into a modified plank. Lift the chest, lengthening the front of the body. It's also a modified cobra. So make sure the back is free and lengthening the front of the body. Lift the chest, lengthening the tailbone, lift through the centre of the body, reach the arms up if it's comfortable. Keep the head up if it's not comfortable to take it back. And feel that stretch all the way through the front of the abdominals. Slightly different angle for the transverse abdominals. Turn a little to the side, lift the chest, lengthening the tailbone and feel the stretch through the transverse abdominals. Turn to face the other side, lengthening the tailbone. Lift up through the chest and lift through the abdominals. Only drop the head back if it's comfortable. Feet apart, interlink the hands behind you. Lift the chest and lift through the abdominals, reaching down with the hands. Only drop the head back if it's comfortable. That's just a few simple focused shred exercises for the tummy, so a mixture of HIIT and strength using your own body weight. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, like, write in the comments below, and go across to my other channels. I have Instagram, Lynn Bridgeford. I have Facebook channels for the clinic, for the yoga, and interact with me on all the channels, and I would be happy to connect with you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much.